All right, number one. Let's take a look. The data across all classes was that 75% of students got this correct. 75% of students got number one correct. There are 6 types of problems on this test. You're going to hear me say that almost every single time. What I'm going to do differently today than the benchmark is on the benchmark, I did all of one type in a row. I just did all triangles, 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 and I did all conic sections. Today, I'm going to do it differently. We're just going to go in order, and I'm going to have you tell me what type of problem it is. So looking at this problem, what type is it? Now, here are your options. It could be a triangle problem where they actually show you a triangle. We use law of sines, law of cosines. It could be a conic section, meaning an ellipse, hyperbola, something like that. It could be polar, which you would say polar. It could be parametric with a T, bell ringer. It could be analytical trig, just basic trig. Or the last type is a vector, which it might not say the word vector, but it would show you an arrow. Which of the 6 types of problems is number one? Parametric. I only heard like 4 people. Let's hear that again. What type of problem is this? How'd you know? It says parametric or T's. How you do those, I'm going to show you 2 different ways, is algebra. You solve for the shared variable. What's our shared variable in these 2 equations? T. You can solve for T that way, or using calculator, using graph entry. I'm going to do calculator again. We spent the majority of the class time using algebra in the past, so I'm going to show you, spend a little more time doing what I haven't done as much of, and that's calculator. So go back to your calculator, new document, clear it all out. Don't save. Hit add a graph. And how do we get to parametrics? Menu, 3, 4. I'm going to shrink this just to add so you can see there you go. Okay, the x equation is t plus 6. The y equation is 5t minus 3. Sorry, minus 3. If it does not give you a time, and this one's not real world, what do you put if it does not give you a time? I would do either -10 to +10, -5 to +5. Here, I would not leave that as a 0. So you could honestly do -6.28 to +6.28 if you like. It doesn't matter. Just make sure you have a negative number in there. That's really important. So you see the whole graph, the negative side as well as the positive side. Press enter. And now you know what the answer should look like. It should look like an answer, a line shifted way over to the right. Now the answer choices, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to graph these and see which one overlaps. On this exam, if you all have an equation that's only x's and y's, I would recommend you go to relation, because it's this says rectangular. That's the same thing. A relation just means it's any relationship between x and y, which means rectangular. So the calculator calls them relation here. Go to relation. And another little helpful trick on our calculator, so that it graphs in a different color and you can compare, is the Inspire. Anytime you're on a graph and it has the number 1, it'll show up in this blue. I don't want it to be blue, so I want to press the down arrow. So mine will say rel2 up at the top. Now it'll be a different color. Now it'll be in red. So let's try answer choice A. When I type in answer choice A, I just say y equals 5x minus 33. I press enter. So I'm on relation. I went to relation 2 to get a different color. Y equals 5x minus 33. Press enter. What do you notice? How did you know it matches? Oh, wait. I was assuming you're going to say is the correct answer. Sorry. I had in my mind, I was going to say, how did you know it's the correct answer? It matches. So what does it mean that it matches? That is the correct answer. The correct answer is A here. The correct answer is A. So that's how you can use your calculators for these graphs. Very basic. If you just go to parametric and relation instead of rectangular, if you do relation instead there. Very easy way of getting those graph. And notice we had 75% right, because a lot of people knew those. Now, if you wanted to use algebra, sorry. If you want to do algebra, there's always an algebra way. you would solve for the word shared. The shared variable is t. What's the opposite of adding 6? I wanted to solve for t. I subtract 6. When I subtract 6, I get that x minus 6 is equal to t. Now that's the first step. That's what you do first. The second step is you substitute that shared variable into the other equation. So I'm now going to take this y equation, but instead of saying 5t minus 3, I'm going to replace the t. So this says 5t minus 3. I'm doing the second step right here. Instead of this t, I'm replacing this t with x minus 6. And so all you'd have to do is, what do you do with the number in front of a parenthesis? Multiply, distribute. You distribute through and we'll have our answer. So y would equal, what's 5 times x? 5 times 6, negative 6. Negative 30, and you subtract 3 more and you get negative 33. So that's how you do it by algebra.